you know, taking a bath or playing in the water. I want it to be an aesthetic feature that is comforting. It creates a good mood, but I don't want it to be, you know, considered a playground or a park. And I am concerned about all the liability factors coming back on the city on those issues. So, I mean, bring us the options, we'll look at them, and but this gives us another step in the right direction as far as.
Well, it is helpful. And certainly there's concurrence then that there be a fountain, some focal point there. We can bring consistent with the ideas you presented. Perhaps there is a hybrid mix that we could throw in that looks something similar and then make that final decision. Something like this, because of the undergrounding and the plans of what we need to do, it may very well be on the very next council meeting. So there are some decisions we're going to have to really look quick on, and we'll bring the samples
Well,
to with some budgets, because we have not established budgets for these samples.
And I think that it should be the task of the council to actually submit to a little bit of their own research of what they like.
Actually, that's a great idea, not just on this factor, but any that we discuss between, I'd say, in the next 2 weeks. If you're online and you look at some images, you see a fountain or a fire pit or something that says this might work, please do email those in, and we'll bring those back to you for that discussion in December. Well, we probably do need to move along. I think that's excellent input. We've made those notes. The mayor referred to one public comment we received. It's not a new comment because the plan, as again directing over Councilmember Pope's head, this is Main Street, as you see. It would be modified significantly in that while it's still 2 lanes of traffic today, we narrow, as you well know, as you hit Vintage Park in this location, you start to narrow, become just 2 lanes, 1 each direction. That would continue to be the case. However, there would be an addition of angled parking as well as a landscape median, and again this paseo entry to the plaza across the street. And Main Street would then be improved, would have landscape trees, street furniture, the typical landscape that you all approved in the downtown specific plan, and is carried over to some degree from City Hall, the black steel furniture, the decorative lighting, landscaping mixes that you approved in the past. Norcross, this is a new road, but it would extend across the way and would then create a linkage to this parking lot area. Years ago, those are familiar, we had discussed about having a realigned Main Street in this location. That still is something that could happen, but the discussion recently and the decision of the council was let's focus on Main Street. We don't need that extra flow of traffic now, but at a later date we may very well need that traffic. And if needed that extra traffic, this parking may eventually need to be eliminated and these pop-outs. And that will be a later time when Main Street has the need for that capacity. But back to the public comment, which is certainly very valid, that there is backup now. There will be backup from time to time along the way, and the constrictions caused by the pop-outs, the medians, and angled parking has 2 features. Other than being congestive, it will calm the traffic, allow people the sense and the feeling and the refuge to be able to cross the street and create what we have never had in Oakley, is this pedestrian-friendly corridor in downtown area. We talk about different community events and so forth, my pointer's dying, but that would create that true downtown feel. Cars will move slower. There will be times of the day when there'll be frustration. If they don't want to stop, if they're not a part of contributing to our downtown and passing through, they may need to find Laurel Road and elsewhere if they feel like there's a constriction at this location, or they'll just move through very slowly. And that is what, again, as you approved previously, and is a drawback or a minus, but as well a plus. So the project is being designed separately by a separate engineer working through the issues with Caltrans. We still do not own Main Street, but I know the mayor's working diligently as well as the engineering team to make sure that Caltrans relinquishes that very, very soon to make sure this project is possible. So if there are any quick questions with regard to the Norcross, there is, of course, a portion of Vintage right here that's also improved. But creating that on-street parking and those pop-outs will greatly increase the walkability of the downtown.
Thank you. One of the things that I've noticed also, and downtown realignments in Brentwood was that they went from the angle parking to the parallel parking and diminished the amount of parking space that they had for the businesses downtown. So I like the ability for the angle parking. It does give us much more capacity for the retailers.
Excellent point, Mayor. I'm interrupting, but one reason they did that presumably is to create larger sidewalk space areas. We will accommodate those in our original design to make sure that that adequate sidewalk space is available.
And as we move forward with the capacity, we have that ability in Norcross to make that connection and move forward. I think that the imperative thing is that we acknowledge the fact that we would impede truck traffic in that area and redirect them to the appropriate collectors and whatnot. I think that's a factor that we have to make sure that the public knows that it's not going to be Main Street all over again. So, any other questions of staff on
The road, Main Street
the road,
portion?
Main Street or anything?
This, as long as we're still talking about the parking, the diagonal parking,